monetary support is going to wind up turn around. Is no matter who it is be involved, it's going to turn around and become a really contentious powder keg. I don't see it happening in this election, but it'll probably happen the next 2028, 2032. One of those elections. It's going to be a real powder keg. It's going to be like,
What
no, we're not playing with that anymore because
what if we don't have any more election?
it all involves
I
well,
mean, I mean, I mean, I'm not trying to scare anyone or put any fear on anybody, but I do kind of, I don't know. It's a turning point, right now.
yeah, no, I
So,
don't
so
see it
I,
being
I,
like
I,
a issue
I'm
that's
not sure where this is gonna go, and
no.
I do for sure is a lot of things gonna change, good or bad. We don't know. We
Mhm.
have to see,
Oh yeah,
and
the next 20 years is going to be
and
real exciting,
and remember, I
really
don't know.
exciting.
And then I said this. I mean, I'm not sure if I said this on the live, but I did say one time somewhere, some podcast episode.
Hmm.
I believe we are in the vulnerable period for the United States, and now Biden drop off. It's even more vulnerable for outsider. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah,
well,
that's why I
um,
say this is a turning point, and
that
this
was
is
the
a
creation of the
and,
super PACs that
and right now,
led to that.
that I feel the gap is bigger, in a sense,
Hmm.
and until we have a grip, a firm of what's gonna happen, the gap will get bigger, and it's if someone or some country wants to do something, it's really scary right now. You know,
Ooh, yeah,
that's just
militarily wise, technology has come to a point where it's
yeah,
allowing the little guy to home grow capabilities that before were just regulated for the big superpowers. You know, you're
yeah.
not a superpower threat, but you're definitely at the point where you can become a real threat nowadays because technology's come so far where the knowledge and the equipment is trickled down to a point where it's like, ooh, and everybody likes to talk about how much money America makes and spends and
That
but they forget exactly how much money. There's a lot of other countries out there that are not brokies. You may call them a third world country or a second world country, but you know, that country still generates a lot of money in that country that's not leaving that country like it does here. You know,
well, over here is how do I put it? Over
everything's
here, the economy, I believe, since 2008,
hmm
we've been printing a lot to save the bank, save the giants. So we're printing, the money to sustain this level. Do you know what I mean? And what you said is very true. Is that other country might not be printing as much, but the more we print, the more trouble we get, and the more dollar devaluate, and then the more debt we're gonna have, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's just gonna weigh us down more and more and more. So
Well, you're not lying.
yeah,
I mean, look at Brinks. That's exactly the us doing that is the whole reason Brinks has come into existence. We took the dollar off the gold standard. Everybody was like, have they lost their minds? But we managed to make it work because we honored commitments.
it was supposed to be temporary.
Well, yeah,
You
but
know what I
we
mean?
yeah, but we honored commitments we made with the dollar, so we managed to make it work. People the world over still believed in us.
Well,
Now,
it's yeah.
well,
Now
that and then we told them we wouldn't give them their gold back either. So
but now we have break currency, BRIC.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil, Russian, India, and China, and now adding South Africa.
South Africa,
And
West Africa's
then,
lining up to get in on
and then,
that.
and then,
Argentina's going to line up in on
yeah,
that.
and then I believe a Middle East, one of few Middle Eastern countries too.
I want to say UAE
Yeah.
is going to
So
line up on that because it allows, as long as they have it backed by something tangible and
I think
not a promise.
I think they are planning to. I mean, not planning. They already say they are going to back by gold. Break.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. It's gonna force the U.S. It's gonna force all our policymakers to. It's gonna force them to push regulation back on the monetary system. All businesses. It's not gonna be right away, but over time, it's just gonna force it. They're not gonna have any choice because the inflation's gonna go sky high. And it's sad because it's going to be done at the expense of the average American because nothing lasts forever.
I think the most affect citizen is the boomers because they are retiring, and their savings or retirement.
They're going to be the most heavily affected because
all of their pensions.
All of their money is tied up in the system.
Or Social Security,
Yep, Social Security, 401ks,
I really don't. Yes, I don't really.
Loans, Roth IRAs, traditional Roth.
Yeah, I don't really.
All their money is tied up in the system.
I don't really think by the time you and I retire, there's still Social Security anymore.
Yeah. By the time we're getting close. Relatively well, actually, no, because they just pushed it back another 20 years.
Oh God, really?
Yes, it's been pushed to 72, I believe.
72.
When I was 20 years old,
that's 55.
55.
Yeah.
55.
And then 60.
And
then 60, 65.
It's been pushed back to another 17, 18 years.
I don't know. I know last was 65. So
55, 75, take 3 is 17. It's been pushed back. Retirement has been pushed back in 30 years. The government has pushed retirement back 17 years for the official time you can retire, that you can take your money and utilize it, meaning they just locked your money up for another 18 years and you can't do nothing.
So I went to a business summit this past weekend, so I want to share this message with everybody.
Yeah.
Which is true. Our retirement, we should somehow find a way to work on it for ourselves and not put, like you said, put money in the system, or depending on the Social Security or the government to hand out your retirement, because that might not happen.
The odds of that happening nowadays was very slim because it's like with the post office. You know why the post office started going broke?
A long time ago.
Yeah, but it started a long time ago. But the reason they started going broke because your politicians were taking money out of the post office. So the post office was never meant to generate money. It was just meant to sustain itself, but it wound up generating money. And then, politicians would see all the money the post office would generate every year. And the more and more people used it, it's like free money. Well, they started taking more money than the post office was generating out of the post office. So the post office couldn't even sustain itself.
I think post office is long dead.